championships, you will see just one wrestler who is the #1 seed. #3, Jet Strickenberger. #4, Troy Spratley. It's November. And Simon Burchett as our head official and Titus Godbolt as the assistant official.
Center.
Already starting off with a hard step, left leg jab step, and controlling the wrist.
And this weight class was where the chaos began here at the Big 12s with Tristan Doherty of North Dakota State knocking off the #1 seed and reigning national champion Richard Figueroa. Was upset in the quarterfinals 4-2. So Spratley defeated him 2-0 in the semis. Wins over Missouri's Gage Walker and Tanner Jordan of South Dakota State before that.
Look at his headgear. He's got Thomas Gilman and a little pistol on the side. Already blood. In college wrestling, there is no blood time, and the official says it's my time for blood. So it's not a similar situation to high school where it's 5 minutes. It's unlimited. We talk about Strickenberger. He came down from 133, so he's a little bigger than other 25-pounders, Stahl, but he got his weight together. Came down, and he's been really sharp at that.
So, Rock, we mentioned that pin from their duel back in January.
There we go.
And here's how it played out. Strickenberger was pleased with the outcome of it, of course. But Tim Flynn, his head coach, said afterward, and this is a direct quote from Strickenberger, "You're an idiot," and was laughing a little bit about it. So he took care of business there. No doubt Spratley looking for revenge, the first of 6 finalists tonight for Oklahoma State.
My coach can call me an idiot all the time if I'm getting pins. One of the things that you like about Spratley, he keeps his stance. Very disciplined. You don't see him standing up and shaking it out. He'll come in left leg step hard, but it keeps the stance.
You think there's an advantage to him, as you mentioned, being up at 33 earlier this year, being back down at 25?
That's a good question. It depends on your body. It seemed like his body has adjusted well, and he realized, oh, nice shot. Snap down, got you a single. Now, singles, you have to be very patient in how you finish a single. You don't want to rush it, and he's got to pay attention to the out of bounds. Good job by Spratley to keep the whizzer, but also fighting the wrist. He's going to chase it. Good switch. Still there. No need. So at this point, what Strickenberger has to do is kind of get a baseball grip, grab the ankle, and start to bring him back to the center where he has more real estate. He does not want Spratley to put that right foot off the mat. They're still in. Now he's got to bring it back. Good defense there by Spratley. They're still in bounds. Even though most of their body's out of bounds, as long as any portion of any body part of either wrestler's in, the action continues to go.
And this has been a tremendous effort here by Spratley to avoid letting Strickenberger get the far leg as they roll out of bounds. 37 seconds in the first.
You never know, Mike, in that situation who got the advantage. It could be Strickenberger that said, I got in, I can get in. Or he could be disappointed and said, I got in, and I can't finish. And Spratley saying, look, he can't finish for me. So you don't know what's going through their minds. Spratley's taking more territory. Similar to what happened on the other side of the mat. It was off of a shot that Spratley had, and Strickenberger dropped down to that single that he couldn't finish. They don't look like they're nervous.
No, but scoreless at the end of one for Strickenberger, the senior who joined this program after being a JUCO national champion at Northwest Kansas Technical College and started his career at North Idaho College. Spratley, on the other hand, in his second year in Stillwater after transferring in from Minnesota last year, seeded 6th at NCAAs, but did not reach the podium.
This is what happened last time on the duel. Spratley is very solid on top, but it was a situation he got a little loosey, and then when he got loose, it was Strickenberger that was able to adjust and capture the fall. Good mat return.
Stop. Easy.
Applause to match that resonance on the Resilite for Spratley.
All right, guys. Great job here, fellas. get another clean start here.
I'm
Wait for
looking
my
at
whistle.
Strickenberg.
Green, get set.
He's breathing very slowly. Good inhale and exhale, not getting the moment where he's
Set, green,
starting to
don't
breathe
move.
rapidly.
Red, cover
He's
legal.
taking slow and deep breaths.
Stop. I've got green. Bottom in.
Seems like a
Move
guy
your hand
who's
first.
ready for the moment,
Okay,
although
move the
perhaps
hand
there with the
first.
caution a
Okay,
little bit
set.
too ready.
Red, I need you to wait for me, okay? Wait for the whistle. Green, get set.
And I don't mind this. You
Set.
take your
Don't
time. Ref says something
Red,
happens,
cover.
take your time, get yourself together until you're ready.
Stop. That was you. Off the elbow.
All right, fellas,
Second
let's
elbow.
relax.
Okay, here we go.
Let's relax a little bit.
Okay.
Reciprocal cautions, red and green.
Set.
Whenever there's a whistle, somebody's going to be screaming,
Wait for me, guys.
"Oh!"
Settle. Red.
Strickenberger this year, Rock, just happy to be healthy. He finished third here at the Big 12s last year,
Red.
looking to break the grip,
Stop.
and they'll go out of bounds. But he said, you know, he went to NCAAs, he got hurt. First
Here we go,
match
guys.
in NCAAs in Kansas
Keep
City.
your
It was an ankle pick that popped his ankle
Yes,
out,
yes.
and he
Green,
could
you got
not
one,
fight
red, you
through
got
that.
one.
So he's
All
back
right, let's wait
this
for the
year,
whistle.
but he's also planning on being back next
green.
year
Don't
too,
move. Wait, ready.
because of an NCAA
Cover red.
ruling that specifically took place in college football. Diego Pavia, the quarterback from Vanderbilt, started his career at the junior college level like Strickenberger did, and they said that eligibility does
Stop,
not
don't
count towards
change.
your Division I eligibility.
Good work, fellas.
You're seeing Strickenberger, he's standing up and he's trying to keep his feet on the mat.
Here we go.
But Spratley is doing a good job of sealing the hips. When I say sealing hips, getting right close to the
Cover
hips and popping them. Let's see if he goes right back to that stand-up.
Stop. Off the elbow. Calm down. You're moving off the elbow.
So
Hey, just
Spratley
deep breath.
now has
Okay.
2 cautions.
Wait for the whistle.
If he
All right.
jumps
You guys
the
are moving.
whistle
Here we go.
again
Set.
or another caution, Strickenberger is going to get a point. So he just needs to relax.
Don't move.
At this point, might be slow to the whistle.
Which could also cost you.
Stuck. It's stuck. Stuck. Stop. Damn. You were caught. Okay.
So there's a stalemate there. Interesting call. I don't think I've seen
Okay.
a stalemate when someone is standing. That's
Get set.
I've been doing this for a while, but I can't say that in that scenario.
Reset.
He
Don't
called a
move.
stalemate there.
Cover.
That's huh.
David Taylor, his first-year head coach, preaching patience from the corner.
Now,
Still red.
Spratley has to bring him down.
Red control.
Still in control.
Hold on. Shoot. Stop. Get set. Titus.
In the second period, it's
I'm
had
going
the
this
field
side.
of stop-and-go traffic.
Guys, green, get set.
And
Okay,
Spratley
one green for you.
has to pay
2 red
attention. He's got
cautions. Here we
2 cautions. He does not want to jump the whistle here.
go. Wait, red.
And Strickenberger has to continue to stand
Yeah,
up,
green.
stand up, stay on your feet, make Spratley bring you to the mat. Gets up this time, and it's Spratley's job to bring him to the mat. And he's doing a good job of sealing the hips, keeping the pressure. You see, he's stretching out that right leg of Strickenberger. And you're saying, why is
Action,
Oklahoma
guys,
State
here. Improve.
clapping? Because it's over a minute of riding time. Very intelligent fans here.
Just eclipsed that, now about a minute and a quarter with Strickenberger still looking to get the first point of the match on the board. If he can break free from Spratley,
Stop.
rolls through
Easy
out of
break,
bounds.
guys. No change.
One of the things I'm
Go,
noticing
back.
about Spratley, really smart wrestling, because when he stands up, he starts to grab around the hips and he looks to the out of bounds to make sure if there is a roll, they roll out of bounds. Just watch his eyes. You saw his eyes looking out of bounds. You said, okay, let me try and lift him here just in case there's a roll action. We can get out of bounds.
Cover it.
Smart wrestling there by Spratley.
Stop. Green.
Now,
So that's 2 cautions on each wrestler.
Each of you have 2.
And the West Virginia corner not particularly pleased.
Now, the referee has got to take control. And if there's another jump, if it's not blatantly obvious, he needs to point to himself and say, that's on me, fellas. You don't want a situation like this where points are hard to find. So he's got to be really careful on this.
And it comes with 9 seconds left in the second period. But he really battled for these last 2 minutes. And
Get down, red.
that reversal there just was not enough room to take things out of bounds for Spratley.
Gentlemen, each of you have a caution.
Very important
Wait
for both wrestlers.
whistle.
Do
Okay?
not jump the whistle,
Ready, set?
but also Spratley wants to
Green,
get
cover.
out in 9 seconds, and Strickenberg wants to keep him down. This is important.
Spratley's still got riding time at 1:41, but that's diminishing here with Strickenberger in the top position. Amaron to the third. 2-0 Strickenberger.
Red takes bottom.
So let's look at that. It was the same situation. Spratley took bottom. Strickenberger trying to keep him down to eat away at that riding time.
1:15 and dwindling.
You see, I switched to one side. He was on one side and switched to the other side, and he's continuing to push it forward. He's keeping that weight forward, but Spratley's in a good position to get out.
Spratley is out 2-1, but he's got the riding time still in his favor at 1:05.
So as of right now, it is tied because of riding time. So really, it's 2-2. It's not 2-1 that you see on the screen. Riding time is in favor of Oklahoma State. And so we look like this. A takedown may pop this thing.
Guys, keep things legal above the odds.
Similar
here.
match to
Keep it
last
clean.
year for Spratley, who was
Wrestle
here in the
center, gentlemen,
finals,
wrestle
lost
center.
3-2 in sudden victory.
Remember, in the first period, Strickenberger was able to get in on that single. It was kind of off the shot.
Stop, guys.
It was kind of off the shot of Spratley.
Okay, stay out of the bud. Here we go, Green.
Now, if you watch Spratley throughout the year, he's had these matches before where he's been kind of a 1-point lead or tied, and somehow he's able to get a takedown late in the match. Let's see if he can bring that magic he had during the dual meet season to the Big 12 championship. Both guys are a little cautious right now.
Effectively tied with 40 to go in the third.
Guys, keep things legal here. Clean it up.
Here's the question. Do you want to go to overtime, or are you trying to win it in regulation? And no one's really doing anything. Just kind of holding position, kind of waiting for sudden victory. Looks like
Nobody seems keen to take a shot.
Yeah, it seems like they made their decision to go into overtime.
Why did they find that advantageous?
I guess they figured they have more time for something to happen. You know, if you take a bad shot, at least you can work through it. But in a 2-minute period, it is the first point scored, not takedown. Any points, illegal hold, anything that happens. If there's a point scored in the first 2 minutes, the match is over.
And they're just getting the riding time point calibrated to make the score 2-2 on the tower. Off we go. Sudden victory at 125.
This is when you just go back to what you've been training your whole life. As the coaches have said, defense, down block, circle, stay smart. This is where you try to apply all the things you've learned since you were a little kid. Spratley hasn't had a real attack, a real committed attack yet. That's one of the things about a single. You take your time. And one thing that happened was Jet Strickenberger did not panic. He was in his position. He kept that wizard and moved his way around. Way to go, Jet Strickenberger. First career Big 12 championship. Quick, explosive, double leg takedown. He may get it off the whistle, but just look for it.
Serrano opened the season 10-1. His only loss at that point in the early going was against Nasir Bailey of Little Rock in the finals of the Southern Scuffle, and finished 17-2 during the regular season. His only other defeat against Northern Iowa's Julian Farber.
You see Berwick kind of tapping the right leg of Serrano. You know, it's just kind of just testing the distance and the timing, or what we call like data shots. You know, just let me see how you react. Let me see how far and if I can get there quickly. So it's not just something you see haphazardly. It's kind of measuring.
Yeah, it's the wrestling version of measure twice, cut once.
Or in boxing, let me just measure my jab. Okay, where's my jab?
For Berwick, 3 seasons at Wisconsin, the last 2 at Nebraska.
Hard to defend it.
Gosh, and you got to be careful there, because so often, here as Berwick gets the escape to make it 3-1, a guy will go down low. He wants to change levels on you, or maybe just wait for you to shoot. And there, it's almost like he lulls you into it a little bit.
You got to match his head. When his head goes down, you got to match it. If his head is below your head, he can get to the double. And sometimes you got to just defend. If he's going to shoot through your head, you might get a cut, but at least you're stopping the takedown.
Serrano headed back to the NCAA championships. Will be in Philadelphia this year for 3 days of action-packed wrestling. Serrano last year was the #9 seed in Kansas City, and really had the best path to the podium of any of the 3 they sent there, but did not win a match at NCAA's last year.
You see Serrano, he's going to that double. He was a little far that time. Now you kind of have the timing. So you say, okay, I felt that double. I knew it was coming. Now I can react a little more. Same thing with Berwick. Berwick has a shot to Serrano's right leg. He's just missing. All you need is to kind of catch the shoelaces. You catch the shoelaces, then you can kind of climb up the leg. By doing that shot, what happens is your opponent gets kind of lazy. At first, they got the leg kicking back, but as you get tired, your legs don't move as quickly, so he might be able to get it later on. First time, looks like he's missing by a lot, but as the match gets closer and longer, it gets a little easier because your reaction time is not as quick. Here's what we're talking about, that double. Watch him just lower himself. Lower and run. Couldn't even get a chance to sprawl. He's been doing it all tournament long.
That's it.
He's found a little bit of peace, too. We mentioned he was over at the NCAAs last year. Serrano of Northern Colorado. Last summer, after the offseason, he gets out there, makes it 4-1. He started a window cleaning business, Dom's Clear Vision. Said he wanted to create an identity for himself outside of wrestling, and that helped him take some pressure off of himself, that wrestling was not his full identity anymore.
Yeah, and he's not, but I'm telling you, he is running the doubles like he's a linebacker. He is putting that head right anywhere that's where his sight line is. He's going to try and drive through.
That's a power double. Like he said, the power washer really changed his business.
He sure did. Serrano's got to continue to keep moving and bouncing. He's got good lateral motion, too. So he's not just moving straight, he's moving and then moving to the left, to the right. And Berwick is trying to get to a point where he's closing the gap, but he's doing it very cautiously. He's not just stepping in. He's coming down, and he's keeping his body and his head low.
Oh, nice job by Serrano to get even lower. Berwick thwarts him away. Inside a minute to go here in the second.
If you look at Dominic Serrano, he's got a little cut over his nose. That's because he's trying to run his double. He's trying to put his face right through anything that's stopping from his double. If we can get that a little closer, you see it's starting to bleed right over his nose because he's trying to run his face through his opponent. One thing that Dom is doing is moving his feet. You know, as the match gets longer and fatigue starts to set in, you hear coaches all the time, move your feet. By keeping yourself stationary, that's what we're talking about. Over again, he's getting closer and closer. You see, his reaction time is slowing down. He's going to keep hitting it. All you need to do is get to those shoelaces.
Well, Berwick is studious. His 6th year in college, and he's finishing off in grad school with a master's in education to teach physical education, following in the footsteps of his dad, who was a PE teacher. And Berwick said one day he hopes to do the exact same thing, teach physical education, and of course, become a wrestling coach. 4-1, the early takedown is the difference right now for Dominic Serrano of Northern Colorado.
That was quick. Kept wrestling.
1, 2, 3.
And he just stays so low. It's almost like it's the element. You know what's coming, but it's like it's the element of surprise as he just pounces on you.
He does. And that's just something different. It was all straight ahead, but this time he was just a little to his left, his opponent's right hip, and got across.
Set. Stay set. Head down the middle.
See if he can work on his top work.
So a 5-point deficit for Berwick in the bottom position.
Improve here.
He's got to get to his feet, break free. A hard mat return from Serrano takes them out on the edge.
Now, you may wonder, why does he just let him up and keep staying on his feet? Because when you get to the national championships, it's not necessarily neutral wrestling that wins. It's mat wrestling. In a situation when you wrestle tough guys like Berwick, work on your top wrestling. This is preparation, dress rehearsal for the nationals. Now, that was an obvious caution.
Caution red.
Unlike the combined 4 of them we saw at 125 pounds in the victory for West Virginia's Jet Strickenberger. 7-2, riding time at exactly a minute. So that point now in favor of Serrano, making his lead an effective 6.
One green.
Now Berwick's out, he needs action.
Look at him popping and changing levels, moving left to right. Good flow.
Well, the beauty of the 3-point take
to him last week, I asked him, I said, you know, how come no one really is paying attention, talking about you in the national championship hunt? He said, they know. And watching this, I'm a believer. He is good.
Well, his head coach, Troy Nickerson, said, while his ranking may not be that high, every guy who goes out there to wrestle him knows that it's going to be a battle, and that has absolutely been evident here in the 133-pound final. Going for that double again.
He is moving so well, and this is the 3rd period, and he's going for a bonus. Looking good.
So he's got the riding time point, 11-4.
You know, it was much respect there, but I tell you,
Virginia got us started, and at 133, it was Dom Serrano of Northern Colorado. Here at 141-pound match here, one of 3 where these two schools go head-to-head. It'll be here at 41, 84, and 97, with just 12 points separating Oklahoma State in 1st and Northern Iowa in 2nd, as the Cowboys look to win the Big 12 for the first time since 2021, and Northern Iowa for their first conference championship since all the way back in 2009, with their best finish here in the Big 12 being 2nd place.
Both of these guys are measured wrestlers. They don't put themselves in bad situations. Jamison has oftentimes had a slow start, but has an explosive double. Now, Happel, he doesn't do much work from the outside. He's more in the phone booth. And when he shoots, he doesn't do what's called a penetration step. When he kind of leads with his right leg, it's just a real quick step and gets in there. So these guys are measured wrestlers and don't do a whole lot, but they make sure they keep themselves in good positions.
And Happel really did not wrestle a close match yesterday. 2 majors and a tech fall, getting by Jacob Frost of Iowa State in the semis.
Keep the hands legal, guys.
Now in his 4th year in the starting lineup for Doug Schwab in Northern Iowa. Last year lost in the blood round at NCAA's, looking to become an All-American for the first time this year as he gets set to go to Philadelphia.
Action, guys, action.
As I mentioned, Jamison has a very strong double leg takedown. He gets in and he runs his feet extremely well. And Happel has what's called a high seat. He's able to get in and grab one leg and finishes pretty effectively. Let's see who gets their offense first.
Jamison, the 2nd-year transfer from Minnesota. Last year, finished 4th here at the Big 12s. Was seeded 10th.
Work through it, guys.
Going into
Work through
NCAAs, went 0-2 at the championships.
Keep the hands
Again,
up.
the recent history between these two
No fingers.
has favored Cale Happel of Northern Iowa.
And I tell you, 141 across the country is in flux. You wonder, you know, this is really lots of seeding implications in this match right here.
Well, there's these two, and then how does the
Action.
loss for Alirez impact his seeding too going into the
No
NCAAs?
fingers.
So many questions here. Coming out of the Big 12, we'll have 61 allocated spots and then just 43 at large for the remaining wrestlers to make up the field of 330.
Keep them legal, guys.
You saw Jamison kind of do a kind of a modified double. He didn't really penetrate. and it was blocked immediately with the forearms of Cale Happel. Jamison might want to start to pop the elbows to get to his double.
Green down.
In-match adjustments.
Guys, need more, okay? Need more offense. Pick it up, both you guys. Here we go. Get set. Get set.
It's kind of going as we expected.
Wait for me, Red.
These guys, as Sid Mike, they've wrestled several times. They know each other.
Good.
And they realize the importance of this, not just for seeding, but also in the team race.
And victories here in the championship finals are worth 4 team points. That's the advancement point. Automatically 12 for locking in the, at worst, a second place finish plus any bonus points. So 4 plus any potential bonus.
Still red here, still red.
And there's our first point, and it belongs to Cale Happel.
And for those new to wrestling, bonus points are when you may pin, win by technical fall, which is 15 points, or you may win between 8 and 14 points. You see that? Right there, Happel kind of just reached. He's not going to necessarily penetrate. He kind of just reaches and gets in. Really strong wrestler, too.
He said he wasn't 100% sure, but being named Cale, being from the state of Iowa, he thinks he's named after Cael Sanderson. Cale Happel here on the mat was born in 2001, and Sanderson, the head coach at Penn State, wrestled at Iowa State from 1999 to 2002, a perfect 159-0 college career.
And Cale starts, he said he got into World War II an awful lot.
Yeah, pretty thick stack of books behind him when we talked on Zoom last week.
No fingers, let him go.
And he's a busy man, engaged to get married this summer to his fiancée Ella. And wouldn't you know it, it's a wrestling couple through and through. Their first date was to the Olympic trials.
Dagan is getting a little closer to the legs. Before he wasn't sniffing the legs, but Jamison is getting a little closer to that double. We've seen this throughout his year, tight matches, and then he starts to get the timing down in the third period.
Red, your choice.
So 1-0, an escape point is the difference through 5 minutes.
Down, red down.
And
red
on to
down.
the third, Jamison will go down.
Third period, guys, pick it up, okay?
Measured match.
Wait for me, Green, wait
Not
for me.
too much
Head the
going
middle,
on.
I'll tell you when.
They just don't want to make
Go
any
ahead.
mistakes.
Happel was here in the finals last year, a 4-2 loser. Looking for a Big 12 title. They're back to their feet inside 2 minutes, even at 1.
All right, let's see the fireworks now. It's just kind of like they were just going through the motions. I'm going to get you an escape. I'm going to give you an escape. And now we can wrestle for the win. Happel wants to be in a phone booth. Jamison wants to get to his double.
Fingers, stay out of them.
Jamison is moving his feet a little more, and Happel's kind of moving straight ahead. When you have someone that shoots a double, you don't want to just move straight ahead. There's that step. You're right, just right there, he just steps in, and now he's showing his strength. Good defense there by Jamison. But he finally got the leg. He just gets close, and he just kind of steps. There's no penetration step there. Just stepped into it.
And what core power from Jamison to fend off that high C shot from Happel.
And Happel's, he can't just move straight ahead. He's got to circle, because if you go straight ahead to guys that hit doubles, that is in their wheelhouse. He's got to circle a little more.
And that was what Happel told us. This year, one of the things he worked on was being better at attacking to both sides of his opponent's body. Instead, he goes right through the middle and tries to finish it off.
And not just that, Happel earned a stall call. So now Jamison has a stall call against him. And Coach Taylor saying you got a stall call. Here it is. We said that. He just ran his feet, but good hips there by Jamison to keep the whizzer or the overhook. And here we go.
Final 30 seconds of regulation.
Fast and furious. Under 30.
Big 12 championship, 141 pounds, 15 seconds, third period. Jamison goes low.
Happel is getting to the legs. Now, remember, Sudden victory means that any point scored. So if Jamison does any stall in this 2 minute, the match is over. So he's got to attack. He's got to move forward. And you can see Happel's confidence growing. He's able to get to the legs. He's just not able to finish it. But all it takes is one double for Jamison to set this place afire.
A crucial match for the team race as well here. Just our third win of the night.
Happel's working hard. He's cutting off the mat. He's slowly coming through. Now, when someone does not do a penetration step like that, you open yourself up for go-behinds. Almost a Dayton Fitz inside trip there.
Center.
Now, good job by Happel. He has his head on the side of the underhook. Whenever someone has an underhook, you want your head to that side.
Backing, great.
And they're out. Wow.
102, a stall call on both wrestlers.
Man. All right, do you tense up or you attack? It's equal now. One as a stall. There's the double. Good defense. Oh, they're going at it now. A little shot there. Is there going to be a re-attack? Another re-attack. They're just attacking. There it is. He's into the high C. But good position there by Jamison. Jamison is going to try and sit around. But actually, Jameson's in a good position. Could he get it? No takedown yet. Good defense there by Happel. Happel's going to lift up. No control. They're moving.
Happel's out.
The whole situation. So 1 second, and now the official is going to flip his disc.
Red.
And the choice goes to Oklahoma State.
Red
and
down.
Oklahoma State said, I'm going to take down. Jamison has 30 seconds to continue wrestling. The only time wrestling would stop is if there's a fall or pin. Otherwise, it's going to be this 30 seconds, and then there's going to be another 30 seconds.
Wrestle the whole
so we have a
30,
minute
guys.
left of
Have
wrestling.
a good start. Head in the middle.
Unless there's a pin.
Wait for me. Go ahead.
Fifth meeting in the last 2 seasons for these two. And an escape point each.
And remember, they both have a stall call.
No, here.
Out on the edge, and not surprisingly, there was a fist in the air from Thomas Gilman in the Oklahoma State corner looking for that stall call.
Both have a stall call. So what has to happen is that if Jamison gets to his feet, it's Happel's responsibility to bring him to the mat.
Good start. Hey, we each have a stall.
This is tense right here. Not just for the match, but also for the team title.
And that was only 10 seconds. And Jamison is out.
Again, they wrestled through this whole 30 seconds. Now, it's very important. It's very important that we pay attention to the riding time.
14 seconds at the end of that first tiebreak.
14 seconds in favor of UNI's Happel. Meaning that if Happel gets out in less than 14 seconds, he will take the lead, even though it will say 2-2, because he'll have the net positive in riding time. Let's just watch it.
Go ahead.
Keep in mind, 14 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. There's also a stall call.
Here in Tulsa is our first #1 seed. It was quite a bit of chaos yesterday on day 1 of the Big 12 championship.
At that.
Keep those fingers clean.
Back in 2023, which was Johnson's last season on the mat, it was 3-2 here in Tulsa at the Big 12 championships on Johnson's way to the Big 12 title.
Keep the hands clean, too. Hands
Two different types of wrestlers. Very much Paniro Johnson keeps it close, and his coaching staff says they want him to open up because an attacking Paniro Johnson is a winning Paniro Johnson. But a lot of his matches are very close. You know, 1 point, 2 point, 3 point wins. And he's comfortable there because his defense is stout. Real Budo, man, he scores a lot of points. Sometimes he doesn't want to score a lot of points because he has to come back. But he scores a lot, puts himself in positions. So 2 different styles and 2 different philosophy when it comes to scoring.
And Real Buto from a wrestling family, 2 older brothers. Wrestled at Cornell. Brian was a 3-time All-American, and Dylan, who finished up his career in 2018. So for Real Buto, year number 7 out of high school, 2 red shirts, an unattached year.
Sneaky there. He got in that single. As soon as Panero Johnson was sprawling, he released it and got behind him. So Panero kind of fell on his face. A lot of times guys get that single and they want to just hold it and bring it in. As soon as he got that single, when he felt the sprawl of Panero, he released and got behind.
Keep that legal.
And now he's keeping the pressure forward. Doing a good job here.
Green.
So Panero wants to stay
Ow,
inbounds.
No change. We're still here. Oh, we're down.
Back to neutral.
Rest down.
So let's look behind him.
Stay set.
That's just a feel. You don't really teach that. It's just, I feel the weight shift. And when he felt the weight shift, that's when he went behind.
I got a caution green.
Caution on Real Buto.
Just get on him easy.
And we'll see what happens with Johnson here, because you mentioned that he's not as high scoring as Real Buto. He's winning the quarters, was 6-5 on a stall call in sudden victory. So that decided that match. But his head coach, Kevin Dresser, said, I think he's opened his offense up a little bit. There's times where you got to be a savage and put guys away, have that mentality for the whole time. And it's been hard for Johnson to generate that. But when he does, that's when he can be really dangerous.
And this might be good for Panero Johnson. And now he's got to open up his offense. Because Colin Real Buto, he will score in very unique ways at that.
Stay set. Cover. Tip.
Both of these guys out of competition last year. Real Buto taking 23-24 as an Olympic red shirt with Team Italy. First point for Johnson. It's 3-1. Worth noting, too, that a guy everybody expected at the beginning of the season to be competing here late into the Big 12 championships, Ty Waters of West Virginia, the last year's Big 12 champion, is out for the remainder of the year, unfortunately due to injury, and didn't wrestle after November 14th. One of a pretty good number, not just in the Big 12, but across the country of All-Americans who are out because of injury this year.
Nothing.
Chain wrestling there.
Nothing. No change.
Strong finish to the first, and it's 3-1 Real Buto at the end of 3 minutes. Well, some of the best teams in the NBA, top players, highlight our ESPN NBA Wednesday doubleheader. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Western Conference leading Thunder go up against Jason Tatum and the Celtics, 7:30 Eastern. And then out west, Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets host Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves with NBA Countdown tipping off our coverage at 7 Eastern. We go into the wrestling postseason mid to late March, and the NBA will be wrapping up its regular season just about a month after that with the play-in and then the start of the playoffs.
Real Buto is committing to the ride. When we say that, that means he's committed to keeping Panero down. He's putting the pressure forward, trying to lace the ankle, but Panero Johnson's doing a good job of kind of covering his ankle. And then he knee slide out. That is perfect technique. Keep the ankle covered and then knee slide out.
Now, Real Buto went back for a shot, and then Johnson turns it into underhooks.
Russell on the edge. Stalemate, neutral. Break easy. Easy. Be smart. Be smart. Be smart. Hey, we're not going to do any extracurricular.
A little extra there. It's just tell him, you know, I'm getting up and I'm using your head to push off.
Keep the hands clean.
Hard gloves. Okay. All right. You notice with UNI, the Panthers, they're coached very well by Coach Schwab, and they really do stay disciplined in their stance. We saw with Happel, discipline of stance. You're seeing a Real Buto.
Get out of this.
Discipline with his stance.
Next time it's going to be a stall call on one of you guys.
And they like to hand fight. They don't mind just getting there and hand fighting all day.
Meanwhile, for Iowa State, Johnson, this is it for them in the finals. After last year, they were 11 points clear of Oklahoma State for their first Big 12 championship since 2009, and Kevin Dresser was named Coach of the Year for the second time. So the tide turned quickly here in the Big 12 this season, with Oklahoma State and Northern Iowa battling each other for a league championship.
Man, Johnson moves like a cat, man. You see him in and he just pops away, real light on his feet. Even in that exchange where Johnson is moving around, Real Buto's kept his stance.
Hey,
discipline
I'm not gonna tell
in
you guys
keeping your stance.
Fingers. What do you want?
It pays off.
Freeze down.
Well, there's so much talk, no matter who you hear from within the Northern Iowa program, is to say, look, we're not going to have the best facilities. In fact, not even a true wrestling facility at this point in terms of West Gym being demolished and working out at a local club and then moving their duels to the basketball arena. Also not going to have the most money in the state of Iowa to recruit the best wrestlers, but when we've got our guys, we know that they're a right fit for our system because they want to be here.
And that's being confident in who you are, not changing. Well, the Tide says we need to be this way, or we need to have more NIL, or we need to have better facilities. Coach Schwab and the UNI Panthers, they know who they are, and they're not ashamed of who they are.
One green.
Johnson was working on dwindling the riding time. It is under a minute now, but Real Buto gets the escape, and his lead is 2.
Now, this is now kind of a Panero Johnson match. Kind of these tight matches.
Keep the hands clean.
They're in here just fighting, little pushing and prodding and snapping. There needs to be a flurry for Panero Johnson. Just one clean shot isn't really going to do it with Real Buto.
And if Real Buto hangs on to win this, the lead right now is 8 points for Oklahoma State. It would shrink it to 4 between the Cowboys and the Panthers.
Panero Johnson, he's in on the shot. He's in on a shot. But hey, Real Buto can do the best, and it's kind of kicking the head.
Nothing.
He's very good. He's very good. Okay,
potentially dangerous. Stops it at 38 seconds.
Colin Real Buto is good at scrambling. Scrambling means like you scramble eggs, it's all over the place. That's what scrambling means in wrestling. They're all over the place.
Guys, let's go. Set. Fingers, get out of there. Get out of there.
Johnson needs a takedown to win it.
Match.
Champion here after Dominic Serrano did it earlier in the night at 133 pounds.
You don't normally see what we would consider traditional wrestling. They create things on the fly, and sometimes it's pretty exciting.
One item of note yesterday for the win in the semifinals for Zerbin over Caleb Fish, who transferred into Oklahoma State this year, was that there was about a 10-minute period where he left the mat for concussion protocol, came back, and then won that match. And when you go off the mat in concussion protocol, there is no time limit on that.
In on a shot and taking his time. He's got his head right on the knee. Guys have as I said, a unique style, and they create different ways to score.
Still red. Watching our knee here. We're stopping, guys. No change. Take care of that now.
You hear that a lot with coaches when they don't like position or their guy's about to get taken down. They'll say, watch the knee or watch something. But that situation, the knee was going against the natural movement of the joint.
Red, cover, please.
So Seabrecht goes on bottom past the midway point of the first. Damian Hahn, the head coach for South Dakota State, as we told you earlier, said these guys did not go in the transfer portal. The 4 guys who transferred in from Iowa showed up at my office, said they wanted to be part of the team. And so that's not an easy situation to handle as a head coach, because you've got guys coming in from one of the preeminent programs in the history of the sport. So he told the transfers and the rest of his team in separate meetings, no job is guaranteed here. Just because these guys are coming in from a big-name program here to a mid-major program doesn't mean that they've won those jobs. And I think that engendered the trust of the rest of the team to say, all right, I know I've got to fight for my job. Nothing is given. Nothing is going to be easy. Everything has to be earned.
And talking to some of the teammates, they said they like the fact that there's someone in that has a different perspective, and if they're good, they're going to elevate the overall strength of the room. Vinny Zurban had a good start, up 5-1, and he's got over a minute of riding time.
Guys, work through those ties for me here. Sit.
So we got some points scoring, as you said before. They open it up, and you know, as Zurban, you don't want to say I'm up by 4 and I got riding time. You don't want to just slow down. You want to keep attacking, and obviously Seabrook being down, he knows he has to, you know, start scoring more.
Green says bottom. All right, guys, 5-1, 122 advantage red right now.
Zurban on top to start the second. Couple of years ago was a first-time qualifier for the NCAA championships. Seeded 32nd, which is 1 spot away from the last seed into the field, and ended up in the blood round. So a steady progression for him and his improvement under Troy Nickerson in Greeley, Colorado.
And you see that Seabrook is trying to push that ankle away and kind of push it away from his body. But Zurban's doing a good job of just kind of holding tight and look for like a stalemate situation, because no one can really improve. And that's what happens. The official says no one can improve, so a stalemate is called.
Okay, green set, red on.
Seabrook is down, and riding time is getting close to 2 minutes for Zurban. Good pressure here. He put the leg in, and you see he's continued to keep the pressure forward. Oh, there could be a problem.
Red.
Good job here. Not nervous. Just shifting his weight, shifting his hips from one side to another, not panicking. He just knows his body. Good spatial awareness by Zurban on top, and really building up the riding time, almost 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, seemingly in full control of every situation, able to anticipate where his weight is going to drag Seabrook to go. Less than a minute to go in the second, and over 2.5 minutes of riding time for the redshirt junior from Illinois.
Come on in here. Center up.
So Seabrook's got a second.
Center.
5-2, but riding time is strongly in the direction of Zurban.
Thanks, Steve. Center, please. Work in. Inside, guys. Get in there.
We got to see Seabrook kind of create the action here. I mean, I know it's short time in the period, but he's got to kind of open up a little more, because Zurban, as you mentioned before, Mike, he's pretty much controlling every situation that both of these wrestlers have got in.
And he's trying to make it 2 for 2 on the night for the Bears, with Dominic Serrano being a Big 12 champion earlier in the night at 133 pounds. Seabrook is the only representative for South Dakota State in the finals tonight. Oklahoma State leading the field with 6. Northern Iowa 4 finalists. Missouri, Northern Colorado, and West Virginia each with 2.
Interested to see what the philosophy and strategy for Seabrook is. Is he going to try and ride and work towards a near fall, or let him up? Because, I mean, it's a lot of riding time you have to eat away. And you can see Zurban just taking his time. He's not doing anything to put himself in a bad position.
So he's out 6-2, still better than 2 minutes of riding time for Zurban.
Oh, in on a shot, and almost there. He's trying to get around the hips. Now he's going to a body like, oh, look at the roll action. Nothing there. We said before, they create unique situations to score. And look at Vinny.
Oh, and South Dakota State livid that got called back to the middle.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you want the safety of the wrestlers, but you know, this college wrestling, things are going to be pushed to the limits. But
so
Seabrook was
impetus here was on Seabrook.
Yep. Seabrook was in on a shot, and you know, because of the scoring now, a takedown and some back points, and It's a different match.
Warning, red.
Stalling against Zurban, but Zurban, he kind of blows it off. Okay, it's a stall.
You're looking at this similar to the way Pinheiro Johnson had his stall at the end against Colin Real Buto.
Right. It's not going to hurt. At this point, Zurban's just got to be smart. Now, he doesn't want to just go back up. Now, that's not what you want to do. You back up straight up like that. That makes it easy to call stalling. So he kind of just backed up and kind of just started wrestling on the edge.
Smartly goes back inside. But they're out with 31 seconds left.
I got it.
So Zurban has just got to just yeah, there you go, just kind of jab and keep him honest.
Red warning. One green.
Another stall, and now it's a takedown difference, save for the riding time. So the lead for Zurban still effectively 4 here. He's hit with another stall.
Get off that.
And it is an immediate brick from Troy Nickerson in the Northern Colorado corner to challenge that.
What's your challenge, Troy? Huh?
So at this point, Troy Nickerson threw the brick because he's, I guess, looking at.
Okay, we'll look at it.
Let's see what the call is.
He's challenging that they did not go out of bounds for a backing call.
All right, so the call is that they're looking to say Zurban did not back out for a backing out stall call. Now, at that point, both of these officials, Derek Lark and Steve Wirtz, are going to take a look. Now, let's just see, did he back out? Because he gave the hand motion to back out. Now, if he just called it traditional stalling, then that's different. Now, his foot is there. Are they both out? Yes, they were out. They both were out, so that is the correct call because both wrestlers were out of bounds. So you saw in a replay that both of their bodies were out of bounds and everybody was out. So at that point, that was an okay to call the backing. Now, if somebody was in and he called backing, that would have been a misapplication of the call.
Okay, so we've got 14 seconds left. 6-4 plus the riding time point is a 3-point advantage for Zurban. So a takedown could send us to sudden victory and Carr to graduation. So here is Peyton Hall, his 5th straight trip to the NCAA tournament this year. Burrow.
Peyton Hall is one of the most athletic guys at 165. Extremely flexible, knees go in different directions, but just a guy that can do a lot of things well. Very athletic.
And you'll hear this at every conference tournament, Rock, that this is a stepping stone to the NCAA championships. But for Hall, who's going to the NCAAs for the 5th time, this is still one thing on his checklist he hasn't done. Has not won a Big 12 championship and really wants that.
Right. Stay off that, man.
Last year here at the Big 12s, okay. Hall finished 4th.
Good. Stay off throw. Set.
And he's been part of building that program under Tim Flynn in Morgantown. When he came in, he said one of the guys he really looked up to now is a state trooper, Noah Adams, who was a standout for them at 197 pounds and has turned that around and taken Ty Waters, who unfortunately is injured for the season, but taken him under his wing and helped to put together a lineage there at the Coliseum.
Just doing the eye test and looking at Steed. He's at 65, but he looks like he has a frame to move up eventually.
Guys, work through the tie. Use it or out of it.
Both guys are moving their feet well. Kind of cutting off the other wrestler. And that's why coaches say move your feet. Move your feet. When you move your feet, you create opportunities. You create angles.
Out of that, guys.
And it's hard to shoot on somebody when they're constantly moving.
And we'll get a new champion here after the same matchup the last 2 years between Keegan O'Toole and David Carr. Of course, O'Toole up next in what will be one of the best matchups of the weekend against Dean Hamady of Oklahoma State.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Go to the bathroom now, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, lots of moving. Only one committed shot there. And that's by Peyton Hall. Steed
break the grip.
is moving, but right now his butt is towards the outside, and he certainly wants to shift towards the inside because the optics from the official doesn't look good when your back is to the out of bounds.
And you wonder how their scouting report has changed from one another. They met back on January 26th. Hall the winner, 10-8. So a pretty high scoring match. Certainly would be relative to what we've seen so far tonight. The most points anybody's put on the board has been 11 of Dominic Serrano at 133.
Yeah, Dom looked good. These guys just, you know, not a surprising first period. You know, kind of nervous. You know that lots of at stake. You have the obviously the individual title, but also seeding implications. You win the Big 12 championship, you will get a stronger seed.
Wait for me, Red, all right?
So Hall starts out on bottom here in the second. He finishes up 6th year at West Virginia and got to go back to his alma mater, Oak Glen High School in West Virginia this year. What was important about that for him was that his grandmother, Anita Hall, was able to come to that match.
That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to do a time just to look to say, were both people out of bounds at the time before the escape was awarded.
Eric Boucher on the left there, Josh Briscoe on the right. Go over to the monitor to have a look. Mike Cousins, Rock Harrison, former NCAA wrestler and official with you.
So in this situation, you see him hopping from side to side, still control there. So they were...
It's when Hall's left foot comes back in, right?
Correct, but we can't see the head official when he put his finger up in the air. If we could see when he put his finger up in the air, we can say, yes, that was perfect timing, or was it not? So it's hard for us from the camera angle that we see if it was. So let's see where his finger's up and then look where the out of bounds is. So he's still in control. Still in there, out. They were out before they came in. So let's see what the call is.
After officials review of the sequence, the call on the mat is confirmed. We have one lost control.
So they said it was confirmed, and they do believe that Hall did escape. They believe, I don't.
So 1-0 for the Mountaineer, who was a winner 10-8 back in late January in the duel between West Virginia and Missouri. Tigers had a tough year this year, Rock.
Hey guys, break that grip for me.
A lot of injuries for that squad this season.
Yeah, they really got hit with the injury bug. But that's across the country. Lots of kids have gotten injured, and you start to wonder why. Why is there a string of injuries? And people have different views, but talking to other coaches, they say, you know, we got to be more careful because these younger guys in high school, junior high school, they're wrestling so much. And while, yes, that's great because they are better wrestlers, but you just wear on your body. One of the coaches, Coach Brandt, said when he was wrestling in the 90s, nobody's wearing a shoulder harness. Well, because guys are wrestling much more and doing the more creative ways to score what we call funk.
And you know what's interesting about that, too, is that when you talk to the older guys, and granted, with eligibility, you got guys who are in their 6th, 7th year, so they're 24, 25 years old, but they might wrestle 10, 11, 12 matches during the regular season. On the other end of that spectrum, you might see guys wrestle in the neighborhood of 35 matches during the regular season. So the older guys seem to have something. Of course, their body takes longer to recover, but understanding that I don't have to have it full go throughout the course of the regular season to be ready for NCAAs.
And when you start off in the wrestling world as a college freshman, you want mat time. But when you get to 5th year, you don't need as much mat time as preservation.
Right, end of the second period. Third period, right?
Next Sunday, it's the exclusive announcement of the 68-team NCAA Women's Championship field. A breakdown of every team, every matchup in each region, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN for the NCAA Women's Basketball Selection Special presented by Capital One. Third period, 165 pounds and a 1-0 advantage on an escape for West Virginia's Peyton Hall.
Peyton Hall kind of sucked Cam Steed back and went for a cradle. And this is where you find out, you know, the years of going through the grind to be committed to a ride. When you're young, you kind of just let them go. But when you're older, you say, look, this ride makes a difference. And right now, he's keeping the pressure forward on Steed. Good job. Just continue to move. And you see he's moving from one side to the other side. That keeps the officials off. You're moving. You're not just following behind or what people say parallel ride, which is not in the rule book. But if you're not moving from side to side, it doesn't look good. and he's moving extremely well.
What impact does that switching sides have on the bottom wrestler?
They don't know where to move their weight. They think that they're defending one side, and then before you know it, he's on the other side. And it's hard to kind of figure out where to go when the body is shifting from one side to the other.
Out, green control.
And this is the difference. You're seeing the riding time starting to slowly accumulate. Peyton Hall has made a conscious decision to keep Steve down.
Top man cover legal.
And this helps you in the Nationals. Nationals, All-Americans, they win the match. They win their matches at the NCAAs by mat wrestling. And you're seeing excellent mat wrestling right here by Peyton Hall. Getting right there to the riding time now. He's got 1 minute plus of riding time. Therefore, he hasn't earned a point, but he has it in his back pocket.
And this has been a tremendous ride here in this third period from Hall.
Now, here's the problem. If he's riding too much, then officials say, are you working for near fall? But I tell you what, experience and being a veteran, that's what Peyton Hall is showing you. And you know what? Here's Coach Flynn. He said, keep him down. Keep him down. Make a statement.
As even if he lets him up with the riding time point, Steed would need a takedown or some other score.
And they all say, we've heard it throughout our whole wrestling career, 1, not 2, meaning give up 1 for an escape, but not 2 for a reversal. 1, not 2. That's what Peyton Hall has to keep in his mind.
11 seconds in the third. Hall does a good 74 pounds, the Big 12 championship, and for the first time in NCAA action, said patience was big for me. Didn't always have it throughout the course of my career. Just had to let my body get back to where it needed to be. Big match here for the team race as well, with one of 6 Cowboys out on the mat. The lead right now for them over Northern Iowa is 8 points, and every victory in a final is worth at least 4 team points, and any bonus if that applies.
Dean Hamney he's in on a good shot, but once again, it's a single, and singles, you have to be patient. No surprise, both guys have been in this situation before.
Improve.
You can see that Keegan is just kind of being patient right there now. What was interesting is Dean Hamney shot towards Keegan's right leg. He usually shoots a low single to his opponent's left leg.
So do you think that's something strategic he saw, or just trying to throw off the scouting report?
Well, if Keegan's left leg is back, it's going to be a long distance to go for his low single. And so therefore, he took the leg that was in front. And in on a single is Keegan O'Toole. Guys are not rushing here. Good hip pressure there by Dean Hamney. Both guys are just kind of moving. Keegan O'Toole is still there. There's no control there. Keegan O'Toole it's almost a butcher situation, but he's locking the legs, no control. He has not hooked the ankle yet. Nothing yet. Look at this. This is just A+ here. Look at the strength here. The core strength rolling through. Who's stepping through? Man, I tell you what.
Oh, my goodness.
We said it, A+ wrestling here.
Absolute wizardry from Keegan O'Toole to get out of there and draw a stalemate.
Man, that was good top-level wrestling. Just move around, little roll action, get through, and back to their feet. So both guys have kind of felt, where they are. They've started to feel their strength and, different shifts of their body.
Dean Hamney was one of the biggest pickups in the portal this year as David Taylor took over for John Smith at Oklahoma State. Keegan O'Toole, part of a proud tradition at the University of Missouri. Only he, Ben Askren, and Jaden Cox have won multiple NCAA titles wrestling for the Tigers.
Both of these guys are just, they're not feeling each other out, but they're just looking for just that one break, that one opportunity, that moment, because obviously they respect each other a lot. Good scramble in the first period. And we're about to shift towards the second period. Really good high-level wrestling there.
Well, Rock, I got a kick out of what O'Toole said. Mentioned he needed to be patient with his doctors. He said, it was big for me. Obviously, my wife and I are not good at that. We got married pretty quickly, but I had to let it happen with the medical team. And a scoreless first period against Hamady, who goes on bottom.
Green, cover legal.
Hamady coming out of high school, Joliet, Illinois, was a 3-time state champion. And an early scramble in the second.
And he's dropping down, so he's going to pick up that stall call. So there's a stall call against Keegan O'Toole because he dropped down. Even though it was the natural flow, the official felt that he dropped down. So keep that in mind, stall call against Keegan O'Toole. One of the things that you see with Hamady, he does a sit, and then he changes over pretty good. So he's got to make a decision, and he made a decision to let him go. He already had that stall call. Now, let's see if Hamady goes back to that low single. Keegan's doing a good job of keeping his left leg behind, and that's generally what Hamady shoots for, his opponent's left leg. You know, the crowd is kind of quiet. They're kind of just waiting for something to happen, kind of like that really good scramble in the first period.
Guys, get out of that. There you go. Good job.
A far distance with that shot for Keegan O'Toole. Keegan is very good once he gets in situations. Once he gets to a leg, he's able to think right on the spot. And Hamady's really good at just creating action like this. So he's putting the leg down.
He's going for more than just 3 there here late in the second.
So he's doing a claw ride. Hamady's doing a good job. Got the leg in. And now he's ending the period on top with a 4-0 lead on Keegan O'Toole. What are we about to see for this last period?
The only time they've met, which was not NCAA competition, was November of 2022 at the All-Star Classic. 7-1 Keegan O'Toole in that one.
So at this point, he hooked the leg and kind of just continued to move to shift, and they finally got that takedown.
And O'Toole is out for his first point. 4-1.
Keegan O'Toole has been in this situation before. David Taylor, his absolute incredible matches. Little outside step there. But Hamady's wrestling smart. He knows that Keegan O'Toole has to kind of come to him. And because Hamady is a longer wrestler, Keegan has to cover more distance to get to his legs. Good, smart wrestling here. Let's see what happens here. Keegan is stalking, but he's got to stalk and create opportunities. And right now, Dean Hamady's doing a good job of being smart. He's in on a shot. He's got to keep coming. Good defense there by Hamady. Hamady's sweating, and this is where Keegan O'Toole has been before. He knows how to finish the situation, but look at the splits and the length of Hamady. Hamady is not going to rush. He sees the out of bounds as well. He's got to be very patient here. Look at the distance of the leg.
O'Toole with the shelf, trying to pull him back middle and get that trip and tie this thing up late in the third.
And he's got to keep moving. Look at the distance of the. He's got to bring it back to the middle. This is it. Look at the distance. Did he get it?
O'Toole gets the 3.
Oh, bricks have been thrown. This is what we expected. He fished it. And then he finally got that takedown here. Now we're in overtime.
Well, you said it. Keegan O'Toole has been here before. And now it's on to sudden victory.
This is what we expected here by these two guys. Look, he's chasing him. Now Keegan O'Toole's in on the leg. A little sprawl action. Both of them fighting. Keegan is in a bad position to hold here. He's coming around. He's taking his time. Similar situation to the third period. You see how he pushed that foot down and he's working his way up? This is Keegan O'Toole. He's going to try to reach around. Look at the smartness here. Good defense there by Hamady. But King O2 is still moving. You're not going to get a stalemate here. He's continuing to move. Wrestler. This guy right here. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate what you see in this guy.
Well, fans of top-level college wrestling, especially in the Big 12, know that this Schwab of Northern Iowa.
Plott, even when he was in high school, was known for his single-leg takedowns. But he has to get to that stout defense of Parker Keckheisen. And both these guys are moving very well, moving their feet. They're not doing any wasted motion. You may say they're just moving around. Well, they're just checking levels, seeing how the opponent is responding.
5-0 all-time for Keckheisen against Plott. And just like his Big 12 Finals wins, his average margin of victory against Plott is also 8 points.
You may say these guys have wrestled so many times, they should know each other, but they keep getting better. Each one of them is adding a little wrinkle to their offense and their defense. So the same wrestler you may have wrestled a month ago, 2 months ago, they're going to be a little different.
For Plott, after last season.
You know what's interesting? Usually Plott usually gets to the line very quickly to come there. And we know that Parker Keckheisen usually takes a scenic route. But this time, Parker Keckheisen stayed to the outside. And when Parker Keckheisen came in, that's when Plott's in on the shot.
And just like that, Keckheisen is quickly out of it.
Yeah, Plott doesn't get to the line like he would before and wait for Keckheisen.
Something to note, just a minute into our 7 of regulation. For Plott, who last fall helped his head coach David Taylor train for his trip to the World Championships in Albania.
This is what we said before. This is what Plott has done for his whole career, that single leg takedown. And he's in there.
Stalemate, we're neutral. Go.
Northern Iowa has had dominance here at this weight, 7 straight titles at 184. And once again, Rock, Plott not going right to the line.
That's right. You've seen it. Now he's doing little mind games. I'm not waiting for Parker Keckheisen. He has to wait for me.
Go, guys. Come on, keep it clean.
The mind wrestling here.
Got to try something different. Plott this year is 18-3, and 2 of those 3 defeats have come at the hands of his current opponent.
Fingers.
Plott's doing a good job. He has his head on the side of the underhook.
Fingers, let him go.
And when you have the head on the side of the underhook, it's a little more challenging for your opponent to create offense. Now, let's see what happens. The walk around, Hey, I'm Dustin Plott. I'm going to walk around too, and I'm going to wait for it. I'm going to wait for... We talked to Trent Hidley, who's wrestled Parker Keckheisen. He said one of the really good things that he does, he's able to use his misdirection and get in, and he wrestles so hard.
Keckheisen last year, his first NCAA championship, 4th Big 12 title, Big 12 Wrestler of the Year.
Now, because they are not in neutral position, Dustin Plott has to get set first.
Set, cover green.
You don't want to be the first one to the party unless you have to be.
Let's see if Parker commits to this ride. He knows it's relatively short time, but he's got to continue to work towards bringing him to the mat. And that's one of the things that I mentioned earlier at 149. When someone is on top, they have to work for mat return.
Red, you're down. Let's have a good start, guys. Let's have a good
2
start.
seconds.
You got 2 seconds. Let's have a good start, gentlemen.
So 3-0 close to the end of the first period. Last year, the final score in this Big 12 Championships matchup, 14-5 in favor of Keckheisen.
Set, cover green.
And a takedown separates them after 3 minutes. When we spoke with Parker Keckheisen last week via Zoom from his home, one thing that stood out to me in his room above the door, a sign that said "Love to Fail."
Whistle, gentlemen, on my whistle.
And they used to have them taped up at West Gym, their now demolished former home. on the campus of the University of Northern Iowa. But he said that represents for him loving the process, enjoying to fail, and continuing to find ways to get better. He cuts Plott free, and Plott immediately tries to get in on a shot.
I like what Plott did when he was on bottom. He got a quick stand-up. He didn't wait to do a tripod and circle in. He stood right up, and as soon as he broke, he was in on the shot. Now, at this point, Parker Keckheisen will continue to wrestle here on the edge. He wrestles well on the edge. He does not, he always seems like he has eyes everywhere because he knows where he is at that point. But good chest wrap here by Dustin Plott. Right on the edge wrestling. Good job here. Mind games. Look at this, and you can see the fans, the distance. The fans are getting in. It's to that point where these guys know each other and they're trying to get every little advantage. Usually Parker Keckheisen finishes on the edge like that, but this time Plott did a good job of just fighting. Now he just kind of holding himself there. There's a clear game plan here for Dustin Plott.
One is the psychological. What's the physical part of it?
Well, one example is that before, Parker Keckheisen would just, dominate. But that scenario right on the edge where Parker Keckheisen at the Big 12 last year and at the NCAAs, he would finish there. But at this point, Plott was like, no, I'm going to continue to fight and not concede. And still waiting and let Parker Keckheisen get to the line first.
Fingers, let him go.
I like what Plott's doing. He's moving. He's leading with the left leg, and he's gotten to the legs. He's so good at knowing where he is, able to keep a portion of anybody's body on the inside. Remember, in college wrestling, any portion of any body part being inside is continuing to wrestle.
We're good.
I don't know what Coach Gilman is asking, but it was a clear takedown.
Well, Cowboys head coach David Taylor, for a moment, his body language signaled he was leaning back toward his chair, maybe thinking about the brick, but got to be careful because they've still got Luke Serber at 97 and Wyatt Hendrickson at heavyweight to go.
It's chain wrestling. Chain wrestling, went to the double, and he didn't stay on the leg. As soon as he brought him down to the mat, he climbed up above the waistline.
Bring where we at. Bring down. Let's go.
And so at this point, Parker Keckheisen takes the down position, 6-1, riding time at 1 minute, 21 seconds in favor of Parker Keckheisen. So certainly Dustin Plott wants to bring that down to under a minute.
Set, cover, Red.
Little tripod. Keckheisen is trying to knee slide forward to get away. Edge wrestling. Edge wrestling. One escape because of the loss of control.
Neutral.
Well, I said, did he escape? Well, he didn't quite escape, but certainly Plott lost control. Mind games, mind games, mind games.
Come on, let's go. Come on. Come on, pick up the pace.
Parker, you get there first, and once you get there, then I'll engage.
As an official, would you do anything to incentivize those guys to get there faster?
Nah, not with these two high-level guys. It's not like they're stalling.
7 podium trips between the two of them.
I like the shot that Plott has had. He was able to get into Parker Keckheisen's left, right leg.
Let him go, guys.
Let's see if he can get there again.
Stop. Stalemate, guys.
The little fingers, the fingers were interchanged.
If not, I got to hit somebody for stalling. We don't stay on the fingers.
Oh, he's in. That's a good shot there. He's not like outstanding defense. I mean, that's just relentless defense there.
Not many can do it like that. Parker Keckheisen, as quickly as Plott was in on a shot, he's out of it.
Fingers, let him go.
And now there's just a minute left.
And when he was sprawling, he kept moving his feet. He just didn't just hold. He kept moving his feet back. But Plott is able to get to the legs, which is, again, a good improvement from prior matches. That's the third time he's actually got to the legs.
Keckheisen has the lead and does not stop shooting.
On the edge wrestling. We said it before. He is the best edge wrestler in the country.
The plot sprawls out, but that's not going to be enough here with 30 seconds to go. Still the riding time point for Keckeisen at 107, so his lead is 7 points.
Stalemate, we're neutral.
Now just 21 seconds here at 84.
You start to wonder, will Parker Keckeisen get to a point where he's like, oh, they gave him a stall. Interesting.
It looked like he was just adjusting his knee pad, but he goes, all right, I'll take it.
And he literally just rolled his eyes like, all right, no problem. There's the misdirection. Little mind games in there. And he's going for the major. He's definitely going for the major here. But Parker Keckeisen going.
Race for a team championship here at the Big 12 Championships. Could very well come down to this match. If Luke Surber wins, Thiago Chile redshirted his true freshman year 2 seasons ago, and last year his first trip to the NCAA is eliminated in the round of 16.
Immediately Surber took ground. He kind of pushed the Greco-Roman specialist to the edge of the circle and then took a shot.
Well, back in 2022, Surber worked his way to the finals here at the Big 12s, avenging 3 regular season losses along the way. And his defeat in those finals, was against his now teammate, Wyatt Hendrickson, at heavyweight, then of the Air Force Academy.
Work center.
So the journey continues for Surber, who last year was the number 27 seed in Kansas City at NCAAs, went 0-2. Gets in on the shot there, and it's Volker back to his feet. What we didn't know at the time there in NCAAs last year, Rock, was that Surber was going to have surgery for a torn pectoral muscle after the NCAAs, and it really took him a while to get back onto the mat. It wasn't until autumn that he felt like he was back at full strength.
And we talked about it before, how the older wrestlers who've had many years under their belt, it's all about maintaining your health and make sure that you're peaking towards the end of the year. And Surber is really moving forward and creating more opportunities for himself to score.
And from a team race perspective,
Let's go, guys. Work through the time.
if Volker wins this without any bonus points, it would be tied at 149.5 for each team going into the finals. However, Oklahoma State still has Wyatt Hendrickson remaining, and Northern Iowa does not have any more wrestlers to go tonight.
Let's go, guys. Work through
And
the
both
time.
coaches are saying to their wrestlers, just wrestle your match. Don't worry about it. You stick to what we know, what we do, and that's what they're going to do. And granted, you know, in the back of their head, they have some pressure. We want to win, but they understand the team implications.
Easy.
But just wrestle your match. Oh, a little slide by there like Dayton Fix.
The native son of Sand Springs, just to our west, a 5-time Big 12 champion. And no doubt a big influence on this team still now.
Surber is attacking. There is no doubt that he's attacking right now. More committed shots than Volker. But we end the first period 0-0 with title implications on the line.
ESPN NBA Wednesday. It's a doubleheader for you, starting with the Thunder and the Celtics, 7:30 Eastern, and then out west, Timberwolves and the Nuggets, 10 Eastern. That's Wednesday ESPN, and NBA Countdown tips off our coverage at 7 Eastern. BOK Center, Tulsa, Oklahoma. 2 weights to go here tonight in the Big 12 Championships. And this is a big one. 3rd head-to-head matchup between Oklahoma State and Northern Iowa, with the Cowboys up by just 3.
He's trying to get space here. He's trying to get his hips away. When someone has legs in, you don't want your hips tight. You want to get your hips away. So that's a stall call right there.
He was first.
So it's looking like a near fall situation, but it gets an escape here for Volker.
We're neutral.
So the Panther His hometown is about
Fingers,
an hour
guys, get out
east
that
of
grip.
Cedar Falls. Is on the board 1-0 against
Fingers,
Luke
guys,
Surber.
get out of them.
He wrestled for his dad, Matt, at Tuttle High
Guys,
School.
stay out of that grip.
And was a
Y'all hear me?
three-time
Both of y'all
Oklahoma
stay out of that
champion in
grip.
high school.
So Volker has started to move forward, to cut it off, and
Get out of that
his
grip.
shots to Surber's right leg have not really been committed. They kind of like little what we call half shots, not fully committed. And Surber's had more committed shots. But what Volker's doing right now, he's cutting off the mat. And Surber does a good job of just circling to the middle.
Surber leads their all-time series 2-1 earlier
Ryan.
this year, a 4-3 victory for the Cowboy. Last year here at the Big 12 Championships in the 5th place match, it was
Fingers.
Volker with a pin over
Work
Surber.
center.
Now, if that happens here,
go,
I
guys,
tell
work
you
through the
what,
ties.
that would be excitement.
Well, if you had never watched wrestling before and you were watching the Big Tens earlier today in the lower weights, you think pins in the finals were commonplace.
That's crazy. Little things that are happening as soon as Volker kind of gets Surber back towards the out of bounds. Surber does a good job of circling to the middle.
Get out of that grip.
So it will be on to the final 2 minutes of regulation. A 1-0 Volker advantage on an escape. Choice goes to Surber, and he goes down to start the third. Opportunity to even things up, get back to his feet 1-1.
Cover legal, head center.
Riding time to start the
Green
third.
control.
20 seconds
One.
for Surber. Here we go.
A neutral.
It's going to be decided on the feet, no stall calls. 1-1.
Fingers.
Riding time is not in anyone's advantage. Oh, he's in on a shot. So he's got to be very careful here because Surber is known to scramble. Now Surber's going to try and split the legs. He's going to try and sit up and split the legs and get to the middle. This is where Surber wants to be. But these guys are just rolling back and forward. Surber is trying to kick. Volker scrambling over. No one was getting in that situation. Riding time does not change anything.
Action.
So you do not want to get a stalemate. You want to stay right there. And they're getting excited. He's crawling out.
Plot's trying to go out on the edge, and it is a stall call against Plot. 21 seconds in the third.
Oh, this is so good. This is good television.
That scramble on the edge was like looking at code. It's a series of zeros and ones unless you know what you're looking at. It was high level, and Volker comes out with the takedown, and will look to keep Surber down to be a Big 12 champion.
This is
Caution, Volker.
You're bumping him when you get on. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, you did. Don't do it, all right?
And all you say
You got
is
one stall warning, you
be
got
smart,
one caution.
look at the clock,
Set, cover
don't
legal,
do
you got
anything
one.
foolish. And Surber just want to create some type of action, just some scramble, just do something.
Green in control.
Riding time not a factor.
Green in control.
And that's a Greco guy. He's cool like that. Greco guys are cool, upper body and holding on. They have wicked strength, most Greco guys do. 11 seconds left.
Greg, remember
Can
you have a
believe
stall warning green.
that
You got a
Oklahoma
caution.
State might go 0-5? I would not have predicted this.
Wyatt
Head
Hendrickson
center.
still to come. 11 seconds for the redshirt sophomore Wyatt Volker.
Green
They're to
control.
their feet. Surber with the roll, finishing things out at Arizona. My final match yesterday, he had 15 seconds left, Brock, in the first period.
Right.
If he scored another takedown, it would have been an easy tech fall, but that's not why he came to Oklahoma State. He looked over to the corner in David Taylor, and Taylor said, you got one shot. So they go to the second period, they get to neutral, and he goes feet to back against his opponent. It's a pin, and it's over.
So they're going to look at that and challenge the brick. They're going to challenge the brick. Was he premature on that? So they're looking to look at there was a brick thrown by Oklahoma State, and we're going to see what it is.
Our head official, Jason Rivera. Assistant official is Steve Wirtz.
So I confirm that they are challenging the back points. They're challenging the back points. What I assume is that Oklahoma State said that was not 45-degree angles and 2 seconds right there. Now, when we watch this, there's a reversal. Now, he does a side headlock, and he was on his back. 1, 2. He definitely gave 2. There's no question there. But what we don't know is, did he break that 45-degree angle? So, no question that the official had 2 swipes. The question that they say is, was he in near fall criteria? I don't know if we don't have all the angles of the officials here, Jason Rivera and Steve Wirtz, but what they're looking at is their irrefutable evidence that to say, no, there wasn't. It's got to be clear as day, because the call on the mat was too near fall. It's got to be clear evidence that it was not too near fall for it to be changed.
How surprised were you that that headlock came as quickly as it did?
You know what? Yeah, I was a little surprised. Yeah, I would say I was. But some of the things, sometimes, let's see. He's got a side headlock. He rolls through. He's in near fall criteria because of high bridge. I can't necessarily see. So, again, they see different evidence from where we see. But from there, it's going to be hard. It's got to be clear as day. That's why I say, I don't know. It's got to be no. It's absolutely clear that it was not near fall. And that's what we're waiting to see.
And now we'll get the call.
Further review, we have no side headlock count, and we have 2 back points. Everything stands.
Okay.
Yep.
Here's what we got here.
Yes.
He said there was no
Everything is
call
confirmed.
for the side headlock for being installed, but there definitely was too near fall. So the call on the mat stands, and it means Schultz is on top 4-3.
Yes, you have your break. We looked at that.
This is awesome.
And this is not an easy guy to get out against when you're on bottom.
So here's the thing. Wyatt Henderson just can't go too crazy, because if he does just take crazy shots, what happens is that Schultz will just underhook him and throw him. So Schultz has got to be concise on his offense. And don't sleep on Colton Schultz. He said people just know me for what I do in upper body, but he said he does have a high crotch. And this is sometimes what you see with Henderson. Sometimes he gets he stretches himself. It happened in an NCAAs. Sometimes he just kind of goes a little too hard and puts himself in a tough position. The slowing down of the match is good for Schultz.
Why?
Because he doesn't do a whole lot. He doesn't. You're not going to see him take as many shots as Hendrickson, and he wants to slow down, kind of get into a Greco situations, 2-on-1, underhook. This is where Schultz wants to be. When you have an underhook, it makes it very difficult for someone to shoot when you're driving an underhook and continue to pressure forward.
Stop. Hey, no,
Going in the
over here.
direction of
Just fix
Schultz.
it. Just fix it over here.
19
Just fix it over
seconds.
here. Is it broke?
Yeah. I have an extra one. It's broke.
So it looks like the headgear might have been broken.
I think it might be broken
Green
because
over here.
Hendrickson is pointing back to the tunnels as if to say, I might have an extra. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think he's going to have to get a backup.
Yeah. And this is, it's actually good for both wrestlers, kind of let the moment settle. It's one of the situations like, okay, we went through the flurry. Wyatt got his takedown early, and then Schultz got some back points, and now they're like, okay, all right, I got all this out. Now let's go back to their style of wrestling. The style of wrestling is Hendrickson's going to keep shooting, and Schultz wants to get to a point where he gets to his underhooks.
And Northern Iowa fans watching intently, a Colton Schultz win makes it a shared title for Northern Iowa and Oklahoma State.
Similar to what happened in the first period.
Headgear's off again for Hendrickson. It's clearly broken.
Good hips there by Hendrickson. Heaviness. Ooh. Heaviness by Schultz. Now, what we have to notice is that when Wyatt Henderson gets in on the shot, he's got to keep his hips underneath him. Because if he does not keep his hips underneath him, the weight and the heaviness of Schultz is going to extend him. So when he takes his shot, he wants to make sure that he's in head alignment with his hips. If he's not, the weight of Schultz will put him in a position where he's stretched out and Schultz can score. Pay attention to this one.
Green.
Hendrickson starts the second on bottom. He's won 2 of the last 3 Big 12 championships. Caution on Schultz.
Slight pause.
Hendrickson was a winner here in 2022 and 2023 while at the Air Force Academy. Last year, lost a 10-7 decision against younger Bastida of Iowa State.
Neutral.
Point Hendrickson on the escape.
And you see that what Schultz is doing, he's going right to that unhook. And Wyatt Hendrickson does not want that. He wants to shoot from space.
Get out of him. Let him go.
If he stays in his position of kind of getting that underhook situation, that's to the advantage of Schultz.
How does he create that space?
He does want to get it. He's got to circle because it's easy to grab somebody when they're straight ahead, but when they're moving their feet, which has been a theme, move your feet, it's hard to grab someone. He's going to take a shot. He's kind of loading up, and when the longer you're in the match, you start to time your opponent. And Schultz is just kind of just standing at center. Oftentimes cradle, but when a guy's so big like Schultz, it's a little tough. But Schultz is doing a good job. At this point, Schultz is trying to just get himself up, but Whitehead is doing a good job of keeping the pressure forward. Most guys aren't doing much of anything, so stalemate has been called.
Set.
46 seconds of riding time for Hendrickson of Oklahoma State.
Set 3. 22 seconds.
And
22.
the Cowboy faithful realizing how important this is, trying to get behind Wyatt Hendrickson.
David Taylor's Cowboys have gone 0-5 tonight, but that could all be erased with a Wyatt Hendrickson win. 1 for Schultz to his feet. A takedown is the difference here. Short time in the second.
Short time indeed. Riding time is at 50 seconds in favor of Wyatt Hendrickson. Now, it's pretty important that what he wants to do, he wants to take bottom of neutral. Hey, you know what? Colton Schultz said, I'm taking neutral because he realized the importance of riding time. Let's see what happens here.
Let him go, guys.
Now, Colton Schultz realizes that Hendrickson is going to continue to move forward. Yeah, Hendrickson has to be smart in his wrestling. He doesn't want to just continue to shoot just because that's what he does. He has to make sure. Generally, it's definitely injury time. Injury time is happening. It's going to be Colton Schultz's choice. So, does Colton Schultz stay on his feet? Or now because of something's happening with his, you can see the trainer looking at the right hand wrist. So you wonder, does Colton Schultz decide to go under or he stay on his feet? But maybe when he clubbed, that right arm, that might have been something. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what happened, but it seemed like right at that point he kind of just dropped that arm. This is important here.
So, Rock, as an NCAA official in your past, what is the protocol like here for the officials with injury time?
It's a minute and a half. A minute and a half, and now the choice goes to Colton. So something definitely happened.
You good, trainer?
This is just going to be gritty. And you see the clock going down. That's not the clock in the match. That is. So what does Schultz say? Schultz said, I'm still staying neutral. Gut check time. Gut check. Both guys. He's jamming in them. Wyatt Hendrickson is trying to fight in. He doesn't want to go underneath. And look at this. Wyatt Hendrickson still staying in there. He's got to continue to move in circle. Plenty of time for things to happen. Now, here's the thing. Colton Schultz really had the shot, so it's going to be hard for him to get earn a stall call against Wyatt Hendrickson because he kind of stands up. And Hendrickson's doing a good job of just staying center.
When no doubt he is not feeling 100%.
There was a high C there.
Less than a minute to go in the third. Hendrickson by 3.
It is not to Hendrickson's advantage to shoot. Stay on the outside and just fake. Just fake. Don't shoot. It's no need to shoot in this situation. You got to make. Now at this point, Hendrickson is just defending. But hey, It does not matter. He knows what's at stake. We're getting close to 30 seconds left. This is important, so something has to happen. Underhook, 30 seconds for the Big 12 Team Championship. Schultz has got to try something. If not, Wyatt Hendrickson has earned the big transfer portal for Okie State.
15 seconds. Oklahoma State crowd on its feet here in Tulsa. Wyatt
That was guts, Rob. It was. It was. I mean, it's guts because
Thôi chuối à? Đâu, tí chiếu lại đi. Vui vẻ đi. Đã bắt luôn, ra vừa ăn luôn. Vui gì? Làm bà vui lắm đấy. Có chiều lắm đấy. Các vào nhà bị lợn ác phết đấy. Không kéo mùng 83. Mùng 83. Bố dân vũ các thứ mà thì cái bảo vệ đến 9 giờ mới lại rồi. Cái gì? Cũng vào đội múa rồi. Cái gì? Tao này tham gia phong trào ghê gì? Biểu diễn xã rồi. Biểu diễn trên xã cả. Bắt tay với ông Sáu Vũ Tư ở đó. Và cái ăn quá. Cái cả đà à? Cái này có cho ra ngay không? À, cũng khác đi rồi đi. Tên cũng khác nữa. Tên cũng khác đi. Thằng nào thắng ở đây vậy? Thắng từ USC.